Dr. Moy, there's now 4 cases in the Northern Beaches, plus a 45-year-old airport driver. How concerned should we be?
I think we should be very concerned. I think we're on the edge of our seats. The question is obviously whether this is just the beginning of something that's been caught early, or whether we've been sitting on the tip of the iceberg. And I suppose one of the things, I was just looking at the recent statistics on the testing, and the testing rates had gone down, which is of worry. And I know across the country there's been significant concerns about that, because as testing rates go down, and everybody looks at it from their individual point of view, but as testing rates go down, they really lower the odds of picking up something like this early. So the fact that they're down actually has left us exposed, and it's sort of, aligned with sort of a general complacency coming into Christmas, where everybody's in Christmas mode. But it is a significant worry.
And is it likely that these 4 cases on the Northern Beaches are linked?
Well, it's hard to know. The fact that they're close obviously makes it more likely, but really have to get down to back to the basics. The detective work, which is the contact tracing, which has got to be critical, and then that genomic sequencing to make sure that they are linked, and then trying to work backwards and forwards to kind of work out which other people they might have infected, but also where it came from, where was the source and index, because that's going to be the really critical thing. So I think we are very much on edge. I mean, the AMA had been sort of worried about this, that the level of complacency and the fact that the restrictions have been opening up have left us a little bit exposed to this. And, unfortunately, we just have to get that message out. If you've got any symptoms at all, just because it's summer, you've got to get tested, because it will make a huge difference. And we just don't want to be inviting the Christmas Grinch over, because it's at a risk of spoiling Christmas, particularly in New South Wales at the moment.
Well, we are only a week out from Christmas. In terms of the border situation, of course, Australia is completely opened up right now. Would there be any medical evidence to suggest that the borders need to come up in various states and territories because of this outbreak?
Well, that would be a terrible result for everybody, I understand it. But again, it gets down to what happens over the next 24, 48 hours in terms of that contact tracing and joining the dots, because that's what really needs. It needs to go backwards and work out where this came from, and forwards to see how far this has spread. And if we can get a handle on that, we'll get a better idea. But at the moment, obviously, I think we're still in that sort of holding on to our seats, kind of working out where this is at the moment.
And in terms of that 45-year-old airport driver, how can airlines strengthen their quarantine measures for air crews? Is it time to look at this? Is there a shortfall?
Well, I think, unfortunately, that the 2 recent cases, with the other one in the Novotel, as I recall, similar sort of source. So I think it has already been indicated that we've got to look at this, because this does appear to be a slight weakness in the whole system. Now, I do understand the balancing of the inconvenience for the flight crews, but it does appear to be a problem, and we have to improve the standards, just as we have had in hotel quarantine. So the idea is about sort of using the rapid tests and regular testing of them, and improving the standards of how they quarantine, where they quarantine, and also protection of the staff and monitoring for anybody that gets in contact with them. All have to be down on the table at the moment and reconsidered.
Dr. Chris Moy, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me.
It's a pleasure.